Over the last couple weeks, a bunch of you have been asking me about my thoughts on the brand new Weber Slate Griddle. So on this video, we're gonna take a deep dive into the griddle, all the features, all the pros and the cons. We'll do a quick cook on the griddle. So hopefully by the end of it, you can decide if it's something that you wanna get for yourself. To be fully transparent with you guys, we did receive this griddle from Weber for free, but I will give you my honest opinion on this griddle. I'm gonna point out all the features and then you can determine for yourself if it's something that's important to you and if it's something that you wanna have at home. I'm also gonna point out some of the things that I personally like and dislike about it to keep this review as honest and as transparent as possible. That's the hardest worker on the crew, living the life. Starting with the assembly, I do have a short video on the assembly process. I'm gonna link that in the description so you guys can check that out, but it was honestly pretty easy. It took about an hour for me and my wife to put it together. Super straightforward instructions. And at first look, it is a very well built and put together griddle. It's very solid, has a very kind of heavy duty feel to it. Comes on 4 big casters, so it's easy to move around and it just looks really cool. We've gone through a couple different griddles in my backyard here, and I can honestly say this is one of the best looking ones that we've had. This is the 30-inch model. It has 3 burners, 2 side tables, and it is pretty large. So keep that in mind if you're shopping and maybe you're limited on space in your backyard. But let's just dive right into some of the features. Starting on this side, you have this nice large side table which folds down. So you can always keep that down to save on space. Again, very sturdy. You can hold a lot of weight on here. You do have the handles for moving it to the sides and also some hooks for accessories. We'll talk about that a little bit later because there's a lot more that is available. Moving over to the center, the lid now is attached to the top. The previous Weber griddle, the lid was fully removable, but this has a really nice feel to it. The lid, however, is not meant to be used during cooking, so you can't just close this to steam whatever it is that you're making or kind of help retain some of the heat. So it does always have to be open if the griddle is on. One of the main selling points on this griddle was this new rust resistant cooktop. So this comes pre-seasoned from Weber, and it's not just the coating that's on the cooktop, but the metal itself is a rust resistant, scratch resistant, so you can use metal tools and not have to worry about scraping your seasoning or anything else off the griddle. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. And then moving over to this side, you have another side table. Now this one is fixed, does not fold down, but you do have this front table that opens out. So with all the tables open out, there is a ton of prep space, storage space. You know, if you're cooking a lot, you can put a bunch of stuff out here. So that is pretty cool. And again, this one does fold down. You have your propane tank that hangs on the side. One nice thing is that this top comes out, and then you have easy access to the tank if you want to remove it, open the gas, shut the gas or whatever. And then this makes space for some more accessories, which I will get into it in just a little bit. On the front, you have 3 knobs to control and manage the heat, a digital thermometer display. On the side here is your pullout for the grease drain, which comes down from the top right here. Nice big storage shelf on the center, and then 2 pull-out drawers to hold accessories, gadgets, whatever else you want to put. These are water resistant. These are super nice. They shut and close like this. And a little bit more storage underneath. 4 large plastic casters, lockable in the front, so you can position and move it wherever you want. And for comparison, here is the last year's model. So this is the 28-inch griddle, the first generation Weber one, and you can see how much smaller this is from the new one. This one was also 3 burners, just like the new one there is, only 1 shelf on the bottom, and just not as well made, you know, not as sturdy as the new griddle here. This top also fully comes off, but this is kind of what it looks like comparing the old griddle to the new griddle. Performance-wise, this old griddle works great. We've cooked a ton of different things on this. It's in a bunch of our videos. You can still find this in some retailers. They do have them on sale, so if you can pick this up at a good price, still highly recommended. There is nothing wrong performance-wise with this first griddle compared to the new one. Before we get to the cooking part, let's talk about some of the accessories, specifically this new Weber work system. If you buy into the Weber ecosystem, all this equipment is kind of compatible with each other, and this works really well. So as I mentioned earlier, this side shelf is removable. So if you can pop this guy out, and you can drop in this. So this comes in one kit. It's a holder for your seasonings, your oil, whatever you want to put in there. So this just drops in right there. This goes right here. Now all your spices, I've got my olive oil in here, thermometer are ready and available while you are cooking. And this works great. So I keep this inside the house with my spices and all the stuff that I got in here. And anytime we come out to cook and make content, I just grab this, pop it in here, and we're ready to go. One awesome part about this whole Weber work system is that all these accessories snap on either side of the griddle. So like these hooks, for example, for hanging your tools or spatulas, just snap right on the side of the handle. And you can hang your tools. You can do it on this side or on the other side of the griddle. There is also a paper towel holder. So this also can snap on the side. So get your paper towels on the ready whenever you need them. And one of my favorite parts is this garbage bag holder. So we put this on this side of the griddle. Again, just snaps right into place. It has a holder that goes in right on top to hold your garbage bag. So as you're cooking and you get waste, whatever you're doing, drop it in the garbage bag and it all stays in one place. Lots of really cool accessories, and they all come in very handy, very useful, and just kind of help speed up the cooking process and keep your area nice and clean. Next up, let's start up the griddle and we'll talk about the heat distribution and how to actually cook on this thing. Starting it up, very easy. I have the gas on already. You just turn one of the knobs, snaps and clicks, and it fires up the griddle. What I like to do is start everything nice and low and just bring it up to temperature slowly. One thing that I mentioned before is there is a digital thermometer on this on the front of the griddle, and what this measures is the heat or the temperature in this point right here. So it's not super accurate, and I'll show you guys once this is up to temperature with my own thermometer, but it kind of gives you a general idea of kind of where you're at least in this section of the griddle. Griddle has been on low for about 10 minutes. Let me show you guys the temperature and the heat distribution. So starting on the left side, we are right around, hopefully you can see that, right around 330 degrees, okay? Center, around 360 or so. So this is a little warmer hot spot right there in the center. And then off to the right, around 350, and our digital thermometer on the front is showing 311, 312, so a little bit off from my infrared thermometer. The one nice thing about this griddle though, even on low, the temperature is not going to creep up any higher than that. So I can leave it on low for an hour or two, however long, and it's going to keep it right around the 350 range, which is perfect for most things that you're gonna make on it. Next up, let's talk about multi-zone cooking, meaning different temperatures on different parts of the griddle. Now that we know that this side tends to run a little bit warmer, this can be the designated hot cooking area. So I'm gonna crank up this burner to high. We're gonna do this one on medium and leave the last one on low. I'm gonna let this warm up for about 5-10 minutes, and we're gonna check the temperatures again and see where we're at. It's been another 10 minutes. Let's check the temperatures. Right griddle or right burner is on high. Check this out, right around 580, 590. Middle burner, so this was on medium heat, 540. And the low burner, we are right around 430. So the griddle is perfect if you're doing multi-zone cooking. This is great if you got a couple different things on, like a protein, maybe some veggies. Meanwhile, our digital thermometer is right around 420 degrees, which is not even close to the high or the medium temperatures. Now that we talked about some of the features and what the griddle can do, let's throw something on and make some tacos. We have some leftover tortillas from an earlier cook, some ground beef. So make some easy ground beef tacos using our handy dandy accessory there. Go down with a little olive oil, spread this out a little bit. Okay, so for this recipe, I've got 1 pound of ground chuck for my tacos. And what I like to do is I'm gonna take this out, open up the packaging, and we're gonna drop this whole block of ground beef on to sear the one side. That's gonna give it some extra flavor. So just go right on the griddle, okay? Press that down. Garbage bag holder coming in handy. I'm gonna grab my taco seasoning for this ground beef and just season right on top pretty heavily. It's been a couple minutes, so let's give our block of ground beef a flip. We've got our nice crust on the one side, so now I'm gonna add a little bit more taco seasoning, and now we can break this beef up and brown the rest of it. See, look how beautiful that looks. Has that beautiful Maillard reaction, that nice crust, so much more flavor. Now these will not be some super authentic tacos by any means. We're going for kind of quick and easy. We had some leftover tortillas. We got some ground beef, so pretty simple, just to show you guys again how easy this griddle is to use. Before I pull the meat off, I'm gonna add a little bit of this Ortega taco sauce to my mixture here. Again, not very authentic, but it will be delicious. And just kind of mix all this up. Let's pull this off the griddle. Smells really nice. One last thing before we assemble, I'm gonna warm up my tortillas. Anytime you do tacos, be sure to warm them up. Less likely to fall apart and crumble on you. They get a little bit more pliable and they just taste better. So I'm gonna throw these on this side. This one was on low this entire time, so it's not as hot. See, nicely warmed up. You get a little bit of that beef grease in there as well. Nice and hot. And now we can assemble everything in this little side table. Look at that. We'll go with some of our ground beef mixture, a little bit more Ortega sauce. Again, not authentic. We're going for quick and easy. A little cheese. It's almost like a Taco Bell ground beef taco, but it's okay. Nothing wrong with that. So that took what, all of 5 minutes to make? Boom. All right, only thing left to do is to take a bite and try it out. Easy, delicious. It's beefy, a little spicy, got the cheese, nice and soft tortilla, and can't go wrong with it. And this literally took 5 minutes to make. Some ground beef, we had some leftover tortillas, the cheese, the taco sauce. You can use whatever meats you want. You can do chicken, pork, really anything here will work. One last thing to talk about is the maintenance and kind of what to do after you're done cooking. So what I like to do is, while the griddle top is still warm, take this scraper. You can also use a spatula and then just scrape off any burnt on pieces. See, everything comes off very nicely. And I'm just gonna put everything in this grease drain right here. And the last thing that I like to do is to just get a paper towel or two. And we're just gonna clean this cooktop a little bit. Also spread out some of this leftover grease to almost kind of re-season it to get it ready for next use. It's cleaned up and ready to go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my overview of this new Weber Slate Griddle. To summarize, it's a very well-built unit, nice and sturdy, lots of prep and storage space with the side tables and this front table. The downside is that it does take up a lot of space, so keep that in mind if you're limited on your outdoor space. Really like this rust-resistant cooktop, super easy to maintain, scratch-resistant, and it has been holding up great over the last couple weeks. It does have that hot spot on the right side of the griddle, but you just learn to cook with that and it's not really that big of a deal. And overall, it's a really nice griddle. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this sort of video and if I should do more of them on my other cookers, like the gas in the oven, the Big Green Egg, or the Weber Searwood pellet grill. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and I will see you next time.